The Shoe Shot.
¿Qué onda, vatos locos? Damas y caballeros, it's your boy Dave in the 702 coming at you for that boxing recap known as The Shoe Shine. Joining me all the way from the city of brotherly love, Philly Irish, Drew Evo. Glad to have you back. ¿Qué pasa, homie?
What's up, Dave?
Good to see you again on a Wednesday night. Saludos, everybody joining us who's coming into the room right now. Big shout out to Sonteo Media, who's the first in the room. And will it be another huge week for Robert Garcia? Because obviously everybody's about to start descending. Tomorrow, I believe, is Thursday. They've got some type of, they're going to have final press conferences. Friday, open to the public. The weigh-ins for Virgil Ortiz versus Bohacek. A banger for the WBC interim title. I will be in attendance on Saturday. I'm debating whether or not to go to the weigh-in, Drew. I just don't know. I'm getting to the point as a local where the least I got to go into the casinos, and I never thought I'd say this, but the better for me, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. But Drew, I just read something interesting about Saturday's card. You might be interested in this, but Cecilia Breakhouse has been added to the card versus Cornejo. Cornejo's a fighter that from Golden Boy that I've seen her fight before. She fought the heavy hitter diva. I think I've seen her fight. But I thought she was retired, Cecilia Breakhouse. I think we've heard you say she's one of your favorite, if you're not thinking she was probably one of the best of this generation.
Yep.
He says, yep. August 10th, Cecilia, the first lady, Breakhouse will be... She's added, I guess. I'm not sure if she was originally on the card, but nonetheless, I'm excited. A lot of people will have eyes on this Saturday. And specifically because, Drew, I didn't get to talk to you on Monday, post this Riyadh season in Los Angeles. But everybody knows the writing was on the wall. I did that thing. I did my own show. I did the show on Monday. I did a little bit on that. Terrence Crawford is not fighting Canelo Alvarez, and there's been a war of words that has exploded with His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh versus Canelo Alvarez. And of course, it's Canelo Alvarez press conference week with Edgar Berlanga. And so it gave him an opportunity to say a lot to the boxing media. I'm going to try to play a clip, my favorite clip, courtesy of Marcos Villegas of Fight Hub TV, that seemed to start all these comments. And it was actually Teofimo Lopez and Teofimo Sr.'s standing side by side with Canelo. And this is what Canelo had to say. And please, guys, those of you joining me in the chat, let me know if you can hear. Drew, let me know if you can hear. And this is by the guidelines of YouTube. We are reacting, okay? We are reacting to this video. So here it is, Drew. This is a statement regarding Turkey trying to set up the fight between Canelo versus Terrence Crawford. That shit is pretty damn wild, Drew. He's trying to hook up Teofimo Lopez to get the Terrence Crawford fight. Were you able to hear any of that? Drew, were you able to hear that by any chance?
Hell no.
All right. Well, thank you very much to Marcos Villegas. Basically, Canelo Alvarez went on hip hop extraordinaire Sway's show. Sway's show on Sirius XM, and he basically said he was open to the fight. So because of that, but he also had a price tag, $150 million to fight Terrence Bud Crawford. And then he says, he made a statement further on this essentially saying, don't call me right now. Don't bother me. I'm focused on this fight with Berlanga. Right now is not the right time. But he did put that price tag out there for Turki and his team. That's $150 million to fight Terrence Bud Crawford. So I finally got Drew here. I need to know what you thought of Terrence Crawford's debut at 154, because it set off a war of words. As I put it in the thumbnail, man, Canelo Alvarez he says, I'm doing things my way. If you want to do business with me, you're going to do it my way. And Drew, in Canelo's world, the Mexican culture, machismo, we're not holding hands with nobody. There's been a lot said about that. We ain't holding hands with nobody. The face of boxing is not holding hands with nobody. But back to the Terrence Crawford fight. Terrence Crawford versus Madrimov, his debut at 154. How did Drew Evil score that?
I had a really close fight. I had it 115 to 113 Terrence Crawford. Like,
smack on with what I got it, homie. Yup.
I look at it like this. People really look at it that Madrimov was a bum, and he's not a bum. And I think people need to stop it with this shit that this dude's a bum. I'm going to put out there right now. Madrimov beats everybody at 154 except Bud Crawford. And I go on DraftKings and I put money on DraftKings that if he was to put into a fight with any of these 154 pounders, he beats them. Yeah,
most definitely. I think even I underestimated how good Madrimov was.
I know that's the thing, Dave. I told everybody this is how this fight's going to play out. Everybody's always going to knock out Madrimov. No, he's not. I said it's going to be a decision. This is going to be a tough fight, and I really think this is going to be a close fight. It was going to be a 7-5, 8-4 fight, and I was right again. I was on the money on this one. And I think people don't realize it, that people say, oh, Madrimov wasn't fun. But here's the thing. Terrence Crawford wasn't landing either. And fucking...
Right. A very slow start.
And let's look at it like this. Both guys landed less than 100 punches in the whole fight.
For a championship fight, that was actually very low output. The crowd was probably starting to get a little tired being there in the hot sun in Los Angeles. You could see it was an open stadium, that it was definitely a hot crowd. And it didn't help that they had a full-on Eminem concert. That didn't help. And I'm curious about your thoughts on that, Drew. But I scored it exactly as you did. I think they got it absolutely right, 115, 113. And Terrence Crawford, he really put his pedal to the metal in the 11th and 12th round and did start to connect. I'm sorry.
But my issue was this for Crawford. I think he had the wrong game plan. I think he shouldn't have had standing southpaw the whole fight. I think he should have rotated a little bit. I know he was doing it just to get rid of the jab, but Madrimov was able to still get somewhat of a game plan against Crawford to make it harder on him. But I think he should have fought more orthodox too a little bit. But Madrimov, I think he should have threw a lot more. I think he should have went for it more and everything. But I say this right now, it was a chess match for 12 rounds. And this was the type of fight I thought we were going to get. And I think people need to look at it as in like, they need to not treat this dude as a bum. This dude isn't a bum. This dude is the number 2 guy in 154, in my opinion. This guy beats everybody at 154 except for Bud Crawford. I think Bud Crawford still beats everybody at 154. And I think people are really trying to make this as in Madrimov is a bum. But let's look at it like this.
Nah, he's not a bum. The guy won the world title. He won a world title in what, 11 fights?
Out, Dave. I gotta call somebody out, Dave, because this dude, he ups somebody's ass so bad, and he wants to suck this dude's dick so fucking bad.
Oh man,
Shakur Stevenson, man. If you score this close, you're a casual. And here's the thing. This dude gonna say that shit. The biggest dick rider in the bunch and everything. and he got exposed this weekend. He got into it with Lomachenko. And the thing about it is, he tried to say, well, Bob's going to protect you and everything. Bob's going to protect you. Loma told him, we tried making a fight with you 3 times, dude. You want too much money. You're not worth what you want. This dude wanted $7 to $10 million, and I talked to someone about this. When they were trying to make Shakur versus Loma, Bob did try to make that fight, Dave, before the Haney fight. Shakur wanted $7 to $10 million to fight Lomachenko.
Just for that fight, right? And he had originally a very solid offer by Bob Arum to sign him for $15 million for what, 5-fight deal? I'm not sure if Drew stepped away, but I just had the graphic up, guys, of the current landscape of 154-pound champions. Welcome Terrence Crawford to his fourth championship in his 4th division. Truly something extraordinary. Very few people accomplish that in the sport of boxing. And he's also a 2-time undisputed champion at 140 pounds and at welterweight. The guy that matters the most, and this fight is really, in my opinion, we've talked about it, and I had a chance to interview Fundora right before he won that title against Tim Tszyu. The guy that matters the most of this whole collection of pictures right now is none other than Sebastian Fundora, who is a unified champion. By beating Tim Tszyu, he actually ended up collecting 2 of the titles, the WBA belt and the WBO belt. And it looks like Bakram, a very unknown fighter himself, who's been ordered to fight Tim Tszyu. That is breaking news this week, guys, is that Bakram, the guy who has this title, I believe that's the IBF title, is being mandated to fight Tim Tszyu. Now, Tim Tszyu's got big money behind him. Obviously, we talked about what Turki Al-Sheikh is going to be doing for the sport of boxing. And he absolutely wants to continue to be involved in the career of Tim Tszyu. Now, this potential fight between Tim Tszyu and Bakram, Bakram doesn't fight him, he's subject to potentially lose this title and have to relinquish it. But the problem with Bakram is he really doesn't have anybody of big money behind him. He's kind of promoterless. And so he has no one to bid. If this thing goes to purse bid, which it most likely will, PBC is easily, with the money behind PBC and the money behind Turki Al-Sheikh, they're going to buy this fight. They're going to win the purse bid. And by winning the purse bid, they control the location of this fight. Bakram has made a statement saying he does not want to fight Tim in Australia. I'll fight you anywhere, but not as in Australia, in your home country. And you guys could easily see why a champion would not want to go into someone's backyard. You guys can remember, if you watch boxing long enough, Manny Pacquiao, when he went down to Australia to fight Jeff Horn, a lot of people thought that was a straight robbery, that Manny Pacquiao should have got the nod. It's a very dangerous proposition when you go into someone's backyard as the champion. The judges may not see it your way. So we can understand why Bakram, but again, Bakram, he really has no control as he doesn't have any big money behind him. If this thing goes to purse bid, it's all but certain that Tim Tszyu is going to get a championship bout in his home country, an opportunity to win a title. And to win that title, a title he didn't have, surprisingly, it's not the title he used to have. That title is now held by Sebastian Fundora. Tim Tszyu will be a champion if he beats Bakram, a very solid, good fighter. But in his backyard, man, Tim Tszyu is setting himself up to be part of the equation if Terrence Bud Crawford wants to do the unthinkable and become undisputed in his 3rd division. That no one in the sport of boxing has ever done that in the modern 4-belt era, become undisputed in 3. No male, at least, has ever done that. He's going to have to fight Tim Tszyu. But more importantly, Sebastian Fundora does not have an opponent for later December, because you guys remember there was a potential rematch between Sebastian Fundora and Tim Tszyu, but both of them had injuries. Tim Tszyu's injury is going to heal much sooner. It didn't heal in time to fight Virgil Ortiz. That was the mega fight we were going to get between 2 non-champions, Virgil Ortiz and Tim Tszyu. And so we got a great consolation, man. Virgil Ortiz is going to get a chance to fight for the WBC interim title this Saturday. That does not put Virgil Ortiz, as much as I like the guy, as much as I think he's probably going to prevail this Saturday night, that doesn't put him in a mandatory position to fight Terrence Bud Crawford, Drew. Drew, while you walked away, man, I just like looking at the landscape of 154 pounds. Obviously, Turki, and I'll put the statement up, Turki's no longer interested in putting up Terrence Crawford against Canelo Alvarez. I'll put the statement that he made up. It's in the best interest of Terrence Crawford to either stay. I proposed this on Monday. Clean out the division. You could do that in 2 fights because currently, Drew, the 154-pound division, you got Fundora with 2 of the titles. The WBC title is his and the WBO title. Bakram has been ordered to fight Tim Tszyu and defend his title against Tim Tszyu. That will be going to purse bid. And because it's going to purse bid and Turki is behind him and PBC is behind him, it looks like Tim Tszyu's going to get the fighter. It's not going to be Jesus Ramos. It's not going to be Erickson Lubin. It's going to be a championship title. So what does Terrence Crawford do? I say he fight Fundora next. If Brian Mendoza was able to stop him, I'm signing up to fight Fundora and get that 2 titles right there. And then the last fight on the table is going to be the winner of Tim Tszyu versus Bakram. I don't know how Virgil Ortiz gets the cut in line. You know what I'm saying? Like, Virgil Ortiz wins this Saturday. All he's got is a WBC interim title. It's an interim title. Bud Crawford is not the WBC champion. I don't mean shit. I know you guys want to see this fight. But Terrence Crawford, he could easily walk away after 2 fights and be undisputed champion of 154 and move on. And yeah, we'd love to see it, but you cannot force Terrence Crawford who to fight. You can't force Tank Davis who to fight. You can't force Canelo Alvarez who to fight. You just can't. And Drew, I want to know your opinion, man. But this Monday I said, you know what? Terrence Crawford could say, fuck this division. Because your boy, Danny Garcia, made a great point this week. At the press conference this week, Danny Garcia said, the fight that makes sense is if I beat Lara, when I beat Lara this coming September, is for Terrence Crawford to fight me at 160, and he can see if he can snatch this title in his 5th division. I think it's brilliant. I think it's a fucking great idea. Why not? Why not? The best thing you could do to add to your legacy, if your name is Terrence Bud Crawford, is either to become undisputed in a 3rd division, which no man has ever done in the sport of boxing, or become a 5th division world champion. Either one, to me, great legacy statements. Your thoughts, Drew? Because 154 is hot. I mean, we're going to be talking about it next Monday. Obviously, this weekend, everybody expects Virgil Ortiz to run over Bohacek, which, man, y'all haven't seen Bohacek fight. This is not going to be easy. I don't care if it's a slugfest. Somebody's going down.
I don't think Virgil has rights to fight Terrence Crawford. And I think people need to really look at it like that. As in, hey, he doesn't. This is his biggest test so far, Virgil Ortiz. And I think Terrence cleans out this division in a couple of fights. I look at it like this, and the only way it doesn't happen is Sampson and the PBC prevent Fundora from fighting Crawford, which they had already before. But now they have to kind of revisit it now and everything. And then I look at it as in, like, I just see that this is something that people don't realize. They're already trying to think Virgil's going to win this fight. And I'm actually going with Bohacek to win this fight.
Well, we got Sonteo Media in here. Will it be a repeat of last Saturday where El Rayo Valenzuela, no longer with David Benavidez' camp, training full-time with Robert Garcia, and pulling off the perfect boxing victory? Are we going to get that again this Saturday? Of my concern, utmost concern, obviously Friday's weigh-in, Drew, is that Virgil has not made 154 all year. In January,
he never made 154 yet.
Yeah, in January, he didn't make it in January. He was not contracted. Actually, they put it in the contract, from what I understand, from what I overheard Oscar saying, was the weight was 156. It was never disclosed to the public. And again, his second match, which also only lasted 1 round this year, was also not, he was not obligated to make 154. What's the extra 2 pounds going to look like? You know, I know Ryan Garcia couldn't make the 3 pounds. He's like, I just can't do it. Well, if he doesn't make the weight, Drew, then he has no opportunity to win that WBC interim title. The fight's going to go on. No doubt about it. The fight will go on. But of utmost concern is if he doesn't make weight on the scale Friday, he doesn't stand it. He can't win the WBC interim title, no matter what happens.
Here's the thing: if he can't make weight, then he's out this 154-pound division. Because, like, dude, you haven't made 154 at all yet. And if you don't make it this time, you might as well rule yourself out of 154 and go to 160. Like, it's just something that this is what a thing that I do not like with Golden Boy, that they try to keep weights away from the public eye and everything until the day of the fight. Oh, this is a contractually obligated to be 156 pounds. They're trying to let the guys get weight advantages, and which I don't really appreciate. Like, if they're like, how do you rank? You can't rank them then. Are we ranking them as 160-pound fights? Or are we ranking them as 154-pound fights? Like, I really think that I think, if anything, if you're gonna keep this a secret, then you're really bullshitting the people. And instead of Oscar trying to bullshit the people about weight and worry more about exposing Canelo Alvarez and everything, should worry about his fighters making weight and getting them ranked and getting them ready to fight for a title. Where's the fucking discipline with this shit? Like, Ryan Garcia, he intensely tries to weight bully motherfuckers. Virgil has yet to make 154 and everything. Like, where is the weight? Where is the fucking discipline at of your fighters? Like, how can we expect you to take your fighters seriously if they show no fucking discipline to at least be respectful to the other fighter and make fucking weight for your fight?
Yeah, in all fairness to Virgil Ortiz, I don't think for him in his specific case, it's an athlete that's not disciplined. I believe him to be extremely disciplined, although it has appeared that he's had a lot of weight issues. Man, I'm still under the impression that those weight issues were because of those physical. He had that rhombosis. And I just don't think that, getting down to that weight he wanted to fight at made him physically sick. So again, we need to see. I'm anxious to see what happens Friday. Is 154 really his weight class? Because if he says, dude, I'm 157, I'm 156, screw the WBC interim title, fight me at 156, I just can't go anymore. It's entirely conceivable. We've seen it with other Golden Boy fighters. We saw it recently with Ryan Garcia. I mean, it's possible. Anything is possible. I hope that's not the case, and I hope I see Virgil at 154 on Friday on the scale.
If he is not at 154, he's a 160-pound fighter from now on. There's no way in hell you try to make. You say you go 154.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with that. The 154 division is the most electrifying. That and 140 right now, 135 maybe, but 154 has so many stars and young developing contenders that aren't even on this, like the likes of Xander Zayas, Jesus Ramos Jr. They're not even on this graphic. Then you got Madrimov. Bro, Madrimov is not on this graphic. But to be honest, like I just said, I don't see Virgil Ortiz having the right to fight Terrence Bud Crawford before Tim Tszyu or before Sebastian Fundora. If anything, if I see Virgil Ortiz smoke Bohacek, in order for you to get a title opportunity against Terrence Crawford, I want to see you fight Madrimov, because I think Madrimov, like you said, gives any of these people a 7-5 draw or whoops them. I think from what I see now,
he whoops Virgil Ortiz.
I don't know. I'd like to see it. Like I said, if Virgil Ortiz is successful, he'll then have the WBC interim title, and I think a great fight that Turki should be having on his mind, Turki Al-Sheikh, is Virgil Ortiz versus Madrimov, because you want to see somebody whoop like Jaime Munguia did. You want to see somebody beat the champion is currently beat. We want to see if you could do it better. That's historically, that's the way it goes in boxing. We want to see you beat a former world champion, and then we want to see you beat up somebody in better fashion than the current champion has done. And for me, what better way than Virgil Ortiz stopping Madrimov? A tall task, I might add, with a tall task. I don't think I saw Bud Crawford hurt Madrimov once. He did connect in 11 and 12 beautifully with some combos, but man, let's be frank, he never hurt Madrimov at all, and it was clear.
It's a bad style matchup for Virgil Ortiz to fight Madrimov because how flat-footed Virgil is.
Well, what do you guys think in the chat? I see JC, Sonteo, if you guys want to chime in on that. If Virgil Ortiz gets past Bohacek, which is not guaranteed, Bohacek is a beast. He's on a win streak, dramatic win streak, lots of KOs. I will say this, Bohacek's been dropped. He's been hurt. I think he was finished by Brandon Adams, this one sole loss. If anybody's chin is not held up professionally, it's Bohacek. Even though Bohacek can clearly dish it and rearrange people's faces, he has been hurt very badly. So I'm going to give if it's a gunslinger event on Saturday, I'm going to give it to Virgil, Drew. But we'll get to that. I still want to get to that later because now that I've got more people in the room, I want to go back to this war of words between Turki. Drew, this was on his Instagram. Man, if you want to talk about clapback like what Oscar De La Hoya is doing on Thursdays, clapback. He put this on his IG, Turki Al-Sheikh, the face of boxing right here. Look at that. The most influential figure in boxing and MMA. And not only are they exchanging a war of words, they're going toe-to-toe on Mexican Independence Day. Turki Al-Sheikh is going to be at the Sphere, and Canelo Alvarez is going to be at the T-Mobile. Wow, Drew, this fucking event at the Sphere is ridiculously crazy. You want to talk about wealthy. And I brought this up by myself on Monday. The price tag that Canelo Alvarez wants for Terrence Bud Crawford, $150 million. We know he ain't playing with his own money. I'm talking about Turki Al-Sheikh. He's not playing with his personal bank account. He's playing with the investment fund of Saudi Arabia, their entertainment investment fund. That means he's got the purse. He can write those checks. But at some point, Kevin Iole said today that he got numbers that they lost at least $10 million this weekend putting on that event. And $5 million of that went to paying Eminem. When you got Canelo Alvarez asking for $150 million, you got to start thinking, how much is this pay-per-view going to cost? How much are fight tickets going to cost? And where the fuck are we going to stage this fight to even come close to breaking in even? Because at some point, you're in it to make money. You're not in it to just flush money down the toilet. Yeah, $10 million is a lot of money. But you start talking about, I lost $50, $75 million putting on a fight just because I want to see Canelo fight Terrence Bud Crawford. He must have came to his senses, Drew. He must have came to his senses. Ain't nobody worth $150 million for 36 minutes. But what do you think?
Here's the thing. I think he realizes a lot of people that don't really know the sport of boxing saying they don't want to see another guy coming up from 147 or 154 to fight Canelo at 168 and everything. The fight they want to see most, Canelo wants to fight most, is Benavidez.
Which he wants $200 million for.
Yeah.
He said on the same interview early this week on Sway, that price tag is $200 million. And as you can see here from his quote, as for the way I do business, because in this interview with Marcos Villegas on Fight Hub, he told Marcos if he wants to do business with me, he's going to have to do it my way. So his response to that was, as for the way I do business, I know why he doesn't like it, because I only target big fights at fair prices. So of course, anyone who likes easy fights won't like that. Shade. He basically said today that Canelo is afraid of David Benavidez and Terrence Crawford, and he only wants easy fights. Not only that, he only wants easy fights at ridiculous price tags. He said that's not a fair price tag. $150 million, $200 million. They lost $10 million on Saturday on Terrence Crawford and Eminem. I mean, how much more do you want to lose? How much more can you afford to lose?
Couple people are saying pricing yourself out is a form of ducking. And I talk to people, and I'm like this. He gets no credit for beating Terrence Crawford. That's a given. He absolutely does not get any credit for beating Terrence Crawford. I don't want to see it. like really, I don't want to see another. I know he's going to do better than Charlo did against him, but I seriously don't want to see it. But with the Benavidez situation, yeah, he is kind of being not reasonable with his price tag, and I think he's got a real and like he's doing a price tag like that on guys. I know I'm kind of gonna get heat for, but I don't give a fuck. Did it because nobody's gonna match that price tag. He knows nobody's gonna match that price tag. He does want to fight Benavidez, and I think people need us to realize it now. He never wants to fight Benavidez. It's a fucking threat. He doesn't. I don't know why he doesn't have the confidence he can beat him, because I believe he beats him.
Well, who knows? Is it a confidence issue or is it a personal dislike issue? Because one thing about Canelo, and I put that he ain't holding hands with nobody. I think when Canelo feels slighted, he gets turned off from a person, and it's like, nah, I'm not giving you the opportunity to make that big payday. I'm not going to give you the opportunity to put me on the record books with you that you got the chance to fight me. I really feel that is personal. I really feel like it's not that he's ducking.
Doesn't like the way that that they're talking about him, the Benavidez camp.
But he even said that to Turki. He said, you've been talking about me all week just to promote this Crawford fight.
And the thing about it is, he gonna make so much money with the dude, and you don't like. The only reason why Canelo ain't gonna do business with the fucking dude because the dude's gonna say, "Yo, I'm only getting you for fucking big fights. You're not willing to fight none of the guys I want you to fight. Then why the fuck am I gonna do business with you?" And he has every right to do that. Turkey. He has every right to do that shit. And he's right. Why the fuck you only want to do business if you get to pick your opponent and you get to pick easy fights? And this is the point of it. The Berlanga fight's a cherry pick. It's beyond a cherry pick. It's a fucking joke. And like trying to build the fight up, yeah, you're probably gonna sell out the building, but you're not gonna make no pay-per-view money off of it. You're gonna lose a lot of money off of it. Like nobody believes in this kid. They're there to collect a paycheck being part of his entourage.
He's on Fat Joe.
Yeah, and like let's look at it like this. This kid is only gonna be brought along by Canelo for the ride for 8 rounds, and then he's gonna knock him out. I don't think if Canelo really wanted to, this kid would not see round 5.
Yeah, one interesting thing that I heard, I talked about it on Monday, Drew, is that in the interview with Sway asked him a very frank question. He said, man, who's the hardest puncher you ever been with? Who was it? And he brought up a name, suggestion, and Canelo said no. Canelo said Kirkland. And everybody was taken back. But I remember Kirkland for being a very heavy-handed puncher under Ann Wolf, that he was knocking out fools really hard. And he said regarding Kirkland, who, by the way, only lasted 3 rounds, he said, when he hit my forearm so hard, I thought he almost broke it. And I realized that if he cracks me in the face and lands in the face, I'm going to be in serious trouble. So because of that, Canelo said, I made a point of finishing the fight ASAP. And he said Kirkland's the hardest. Apparently, Berlanga whispered in his ear at the press conference in Los Angeles. He said, I don't hit like Kirkland. And he said, I don't hit like so-and-so. I don't know which, Jaime Munguia. And to which Canelo told him, bro, you hit like my son. you hit like, you don't hit any harder than my son. I thought that was pretty brilliant, man. I don't know where Berlanga gets off thinking he's the heaviest handed puncher Canelo Alvarez is ever going to face. I mean, if I refresh my memory, Berlanga's been taking the distance ever since he stepped up in competition, right?
I look at it like this. Nobody cares what Berlanga says. Everybody is laughing at the kid knowing he's going to get knocked the fuck out. I'm trying. And then you tried it, and then you're admitting, I respect you, but I'm trying to sell the fight. I'm like, dude, why the fuck would you say that shit?
Hey, I did give a little bit of props to Berlanga because
what a stupid motherfucker he is.
Drew, we're in an era where fighters just don't promote themselves. And sometimes, some of the best fighters have very little personality. They're not big talkers. They're not people that want to go out there and constantly seek the limelight. And today with social media, some of them even barely have a social media presence, even though it's extremely important. You're basically in the business of being an independent contractor, and you're building a brand. And I will say that Edgar Berlanga has built a brand on social media. He's built a brand. He's trying to create something out of, his 16 knockouts that came in a row. He landed himself the fight with Eddie Hearn. He landed with Eddie Hearn after Top Rank let him go. Eddie Hearn's like, I'll get you the fight with Canelo, which is a big accomplishment. This weekend I was watching something completely unrelated to boxing, and they tied in a clip of George Foreman and Johnny Carson. And George Foreman was busting jokes with Johnny Carson right before a big fight. Johnny Carson goes, have you seen this guy fight? Is he any good? And George Foreman says, I hope not. And everybody cracked. Drew, when do you see a fighter on any TV show? You just don't, man. So I give props to Edgar Berlanga. If you're feeling a little sleepy, Drew, I totally understand. You're on the East Coast. We had Eminem keeping people up till Lord knows what time to watch a fight. We can cut the show a little bit short. Where is everybody? If you're watching right now, quietly watching, hey, comment and interact. The phone lines aren't open today. And make sure you hit that like. Go ahead, Drew.
I just look at the whole thing. You personally admit it when the cameras are on you the whole time. I'm trying to sell the fight. I'm like, come on, fuck on, dude. You a fucking dumbass. Like, seriously, dude. You like, dude, why the fuck would you say that? Like, I'm sorry. It just sickens me. And like, people like it and like stand by it and everything. Like, seriously, man. Fuck Canelo Alvarez. Fuck boxing. Like, like seriously, boxing is on a decline. It's heading for a bad fucking thing.
Everybody thinks Turki Al-Sheikh, not everybody, but a lot of people think he was going to be the great savior of this sport. Turki Al-Sheikh responded to Canelo. He says, I heard what Canelo said, that he respects me, but he doesn't like the way I do business. As for him respecting me, it doesn't matter to me if he does or not. As for the way I do business, I know why he doesn't like me, because I only target big fights at fair prices. So, of course, anyone who likes easy fights won't like that. And I know how he feels after losing to Bivol. So he's been looking for easier fights ever since. Also, I'm not the one who's afraid of fighting Benavidez or Crawford. Therefore, I knew he was wasting our time and making excuses with big amounts of money that can't be paid. So I'm continuing my way to make big fights that serve the boxing world, and he's on his way to making easy show only fights. There you have it. That's his response.
I think it's going to win out for Canelo people to do business with, because I don't think PBC. I think PBC is going to fall in line with Turkey soon. It's the only way it's going to keep them afloat. And
they may not have any much choice in the matter, right?
And then Canelo is on his own. Like, dude, there's nobody other promoter would do business for you. You're doing business for the promoter. You're doing business with the Turkey. And tell you the truth, they're business partners. That means he's gonna say, yo, I want him in this fight. He doesn't want it, fuck him. He ain't gonna fight. And Canelo's gonna hit premature retirement because he's choosing not to fight and make the money. So,
yep. Hey, if I remind you guys, if you guys are casually watching and you like the content Drew and I are providing, make sure that you hit that subscribe and notification button. Drew and I are only roughly 10 subscribers away from being finally monetized partners on YouTube. So make sure you do hit that subscribe button. We would greatly appreciate that. Drew, it was a great card, but the length of the show bothered a lot of people. And I want to know what you think about the length of the card, because it seemed to drag on forever. And I love boxing, but for people that are casual boxing fans, man, they may not want to sit in front of a TV for 8 hours.
I'm sorry. I did not want to sit watching boxing at 2:00 in the morning.
I hear you.
I just don't. Like, I want to be, unless I'm at a bar and everything, and if I'm doing it, but if I'm home, I'd rather not watch boxing at 2:00 in the morning. And I thought the fight card was too long. I thought they had like 5 fights on there.
But they also awarded His Excellency a Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame. They gave him an award. Rich Murata, who I respect greatly, was giving him up. What was that? An award? Honorary inductee. And they gave away an electric car to a Mexican guy that didn't seem to give a shit about this electric car. He's probably never heard of the Mexican guy. I joked on Twitter. I'm like, bro, that dude was going to hawk that shit and pawn that shit as soon as he got the keys, because no Mexican guy wants an electric car like that, man. He's probably like, man, you ain't got a truck back there? You ain't got a Ford F-150 or something I can drive around? I don't know what he's going to do with an electric sedan, but other than sell it, bro. But even that shit took a long time, and people just got fatigued, man. This is already a niche sport. It's hard to even get numbers on YouTube unless you, like, for small content creators like us. And then you got shit like where you make it into the Super Bowl. Personally, the fight card went on way too long for me too, Drew. And there's really it's starting to be, people were clapping back that there's pay-per-view fatigue, man. You can't be buying these $80, $90 cards every month.
I think the pay-per-view shit gotta stop. Like, seriously. I think the pay-per-view market is dead. Like, what's it gonna take for these people to realize that this pay-per-view market's dead? Just fucking put it on regular DAZN or something. Put it on fucking TV or something, man. Like, it's how it's gonna be. You're not gonna make the money you want on this shit. And let's look at the price. You paid Majimov $750,000. You paid Terrence Crawford $2.5 million to fight that.
Yo, they paid Pitbull Cruz $1.5 million to El Rayo Valenzuela's $500K. I know he was the champ, but man, that's a big diss. Like, I think people finally realized that Pitbull Cruz is overpaid. A lot of Turkey was counting on a big Mexican, Mexican American friendly crowd from the Los Angeles area, Southern California, to show up to support Pitbull Cruz and to support what's his name, the big heavyweight guy. And it just didn't really happen. Yeah, and it really didn't happen. Yeah, Kevin Iole wrote a great article. He posted it on Twitter and his page. Kevin Iole said this: scores of tickets, thousands of them were literally given away for the Crawford Madrimov show, and still the stands weren't full. Tickets were way overpriced, and even when they were cut dramatically, it's not like there was a massive demand. The business failure of Saturday's show in Los Angeles is just another example in a long list of failures to do the right thing. Bob Arum let Terrence Crawford go. Bob Arum said every time, it was pretty fucked up what he said. He said, every time I do a promotion with Terrence Crawford, I lose money. So he had no problem. I don't know if it was personal, but he really had no problem letting Terrence Crawford go. And part of that is like what I was saying earlier about George Foreman. You don't see fighters on TV anymore. You don't see fighters like Floyd Mayweather have that charisma anymore and showing up on regular TV. Like, if you're not a hardcore boxing fan, you might not really give a shit that Bud Crawford was fighting this weekend.
Yeah, I look at it, man. It's just bad for the sports. It's a fucking downward spiral, and I think it's not coming back from it. Like, I think people are gonna look at this like. You're getting fights, but it's just pathetic business practices and everything. Like, America is heading for a fucking recession, and you're fucking putting the prices up. Let me just say something.
It's expensive. Go ahead, Drew.
I had a woman knock on my door today, and she's like this, and she asked the questions, if you're trying to vote on. I'm like, the main thing, cost of living. In my city, especially in the U.S. Are you going to support Kamala Harris? I'm like, I'm not voting. You want to know why I'm not voting? Because I don't believe in neither candidate. And the last time I voted for someone that fucked us over too. It's like, I'm going to say something. You're only voting for the person that's going to fuck you, think's going to fuck you over lease when you're voting for somebody. And it's fucking true. You're only voting for something for the person that fucks you over lease. They're not going to fucking do anything to make shit better. They're not going to do anything to make their comedy better. Because you got someone said, "Oh, we had the best economy." How the fuck we got the best economy? We had towards a fucking recession. Like, I don't understand why would you price these tickets this high and everything. And this is not knowing your market, not knowing the value of your market, like what class of people is around that stadium and everything. What type of class is the hardcore boxing fan if you're trying to attract it, and casuals and everything. I just don't get it how you have to hire people for that. And they're probably not doing a good fucking job of it either. And like seriously, in LA, possibly the biggest tax state in fucking America, takes out the taxes are the most in California.
Oh yeah.
And everything. And you look at it as in California, some of them making $70,000 a year and they're still struggling. How the fuck can you gonna nosebleeds? You're charging $2,000, let's say. You don't know your value. You don't know the citizens of that area, and that's what you blame on them doing their homework. Like, what does it take to do the extra mile to do research on the population of that area and what's the average
income
a year? And everything.
I feel you.
I just don't understand why do they not go the extra mile? And here's the thing. Let's look at it like this. If you look at it, they didn't expect it to do much. I'm going to tell you why, Dave. Because your main event fighter is only making $2.5 million. And the guy he's fighting for $750,000. So let's look at it like this: if you had this big stadium that you were using,
a soccer stadium too, by the way.
A soccer stadium, by the way. If we look at this, and I'm really looking at, hey, I got to find out how these people are doing it. And then I'm going to find out how much the average income is. Especially, I got to pay the Performance Act $5 million to himself. I got to probably pay his hype man probably close to $1 million. And then I got to give a certain percentage out to my business partners that are part of it. Eddie Horn, Top, or fucking Bob Allen and everything. And fucking Oscar. And then I gotta fucking make sure that I'm making profit. You're not making profit. This card's probably gonna do maybe at most 100,000 buys and everything. And you charged it at probably $80 probably. You lost a shitload of money.
Yeah, Drew, with piracy, unfortunately, with piracy and ticket sales where you have to literally give tickets away, I don't see how it's profitable. Hey, shout out to Big Spooky, man. I won't go as far as saying FLA2 though. But yeah, it was the card itself was really good. And speaking of people being overpaid, Baby Anderson, man, he didn't seem to give a shit after losing. Finally being exposed. I talked about it last week that I really thought he hit his ceiling against Charles Martin, a guy that once had the heavyweight title only by a fluke. And Drew, he couldn't make any adjustments. And now we have people arguing, oh, well, he's pretty small. Bro, come on. Usyk beat everybody in the fucking division. Usyk is a cruiserweight.
Let's look at it like this. You know what the main fucking issue with Jared Big Baby Anderson is? And I'm going to tell you, the motherfucker doesn't keep his fucking hands up.
Yeah, he even admitted that.
Tries to fight in a fucking hit in this motion the whole fucking fight. He has no fucking head movement, shoulder movement. He can't execute a fucking shoulder work out his fucking life. He keeps his fucking hands down. He's lazy on fucking defense, and he got fucking nailed for it.
Yeah, it was a bad
was
look.
Gonna cost him.
Yeah, shout out to Bacoli, who looked actually fantastic. And now we've got a really big monster in the division. Somebody that really I could see him fighting against anybody that's 6'6". With Joe Joyce recently being exposed, with people like Chisora being really old now. I welcome Bacoli in the division. For Jared Anderson, I'm going to say that performance was like as close to an F as possible, Drew. I'd like to grade these fights. It was as close to a fucking F as possible. He started off hot. He's got fast hands. But, man, he made zero adjustments to his game plan in the fight. He just kept coming forward.
He wasn't listening.
He just kept coming forward for it.
Like people, like, don't like this to him. Yo, you got to keep your fucking hands up. And you got to throw with him, and go as he goes for that jab, and you fucking don't keep your hands up.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, I said this. He has a couple things to clean up, and he could be unbeatable if he cleans them up. But if he's not going to keep his fucking hands up, he's eventually going to get knocked out. And what happens? He gets knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, he did. He definitely did. A bad night for him. He didn't seem to care. It was a career-high payday, and that is a bad signal. A career-high payday. It's back to the drawing board. If you really want it. If you want. They said he was going to be the future face of American heavyweight boxing.
I'm sorry, but let's look at it like this.
Big step back.
He does not take the sport seriously. He doesn't. And I'm lost. I'm very... I was high on him. I'm not high on him because he's not serious about the sport of boxing. He doesn't take it seriously. He only does it to make money and everything. You don't want to have no desire of being a champion, but you're supposed to, like, seriously, you become champion, you get those big fights. You don't have to struggle to make money after you retire. You can invest it and everything. That's where you make the big money at, is being a champion. And this guy has no desire on being a champion. Why do people waste their time with him then if he has no desire on being a champion? If he doesn't care for it. Like, I think people need to look at it like this. Is that he lost, and now you will hope that it gets to his head that you got to take this seriously now. Like, he can bounce back, but the motherfucker's got to keep his fucking hands up and stop fucking sparring with fucking little fucking lightweights. They don't do shit for you. If you want to prepare for a fucking nice, slick heavyweight, you fucking get a nice, slick heavyweight into the spar with. Like, I don't get the issue of some of these motherfuckers thinking that they're going to get somewhere. And especially, you got to listen to your trainer. You make Sugar Hill look like a fucking second-rate trainer. Like, you know what? Good for the guy that knocked him out. He's in the title picture now. He has one loss. He's going to be a player in this division now. He seems like a dangerous opponent now. So good for him. I think he could beat some guys in this top 10. And let's look at it like this. Joel Big Baby Miller, I believe, was robbed of a win on Saturday night against Andy Ruiz. I think after 4 fucking rounds, Andy Ruiz had nothing to give Joel Big Baby Miller. I thought Joel Big Baby Miller dominated after 4 rounds.
And that's not saying much, man, because he was doing the bare minimum. But I'm going to agree with you, and I'm going to agree with even Turkey that should have been 7-5 or 8-4 in favor of Jarrell Miller.
Oh, that was 8-4. That was fucking 8-4.
With Andy Ruiz coming off that major layoff, and again, he busted up his hand. Man, I'm going to give Andy Ruiz a D, at least a D plus on that one. And that's not saying much because, to be honest, I don't really see Big Baby Miller against the top 5 heavyweights, not with that performance. He just doesn't throw hard enough. There's not too much variation in his offense, man. I give him a C. He won that fight with a C performance.
Here's the problem with Big Baby Miller. Yeah, he took it more seriously to training camp. He came in at 305.
And for once, there was no PEDs. No PEDs.
But here's the thing. He goes for these phone booth fights. Dude, you don't go for these phone booth fights. Go to and box him and knock him the fuck out. These phone booth fights are for the smaller weight classes, not the fucking higher weight classes. Your job is to hurt somebody. Your job is to get out of there as fast as possible and call the fucking night and make yourself look fucking good in the fucking division. That's what gets you paid. That's what gets you title shots. Going in phone booth fights with motherfuckers ain't gonna fucking give you shit. Is he in the top 10 of heavyweights? He probably is a top 10 heavyweight. Because, but I look at it like this right now. I just don't think that, if I were him, next fight, Dillian White, Chisora.
Yeah, I like that. Pulev, Baby Miller, Chisora. I like that. I like that fight,
Pulev, man. I look at it like this. He really needs to figure out. They need to figure out to get him the right matchups, to get him somewhere, and to tell him to stop doing phone booth fights. What the fuck? I really need to stop seeing him phone booth fight because his stamina was down, except for the last fight. It wasn't. He ran out of gas, but his stamina was a lot better this fight. I can give him that. He's getting slowly better, but the motherfucker's got to stop being over 300 pounds. Get down to fucking Joel Big Baby Miller, I think, will be a very accomplished heavyweight if he fought at 275.
Yeah, that sounds like a good weight target. The rest of the card, man, I want to dig your brain, pick your brain on these two because the two Cuban fighters, one of them really impressed me. And the other one, wow, David Morrell runs into a roadblock, man. Between the recent performance of David Benavidez' debut against former champion at 175, and now David Morrell enters the arena of 175 pounds, really giving kind of a maybe C-level performance against Hot Rod, barely edging out this fight, man. Hot Rod, the scorecards were really, really wide. Bro, those scorecards were funny business. I really saw this fight much, much closer, maybe 8-4.
I saw it 8-4.
8-4 for David Morrell. But David Morrell looking...
I had an 8-4 for Benavidez and Grostic.
But looking very beatable. Looking like he has a lot of stuff to work on. Also looking like he ain't going to be knocking out too many folks like he was at 168.
I see the dude two-tone saying, don't ever mention David Morrell or David Benavidez again. And I comment on him like, David Benavidez looked like shit too. So what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who did better. I would have to say that I think David Benavidez was in full control of the entirety of his fight, and there were some rounds where I think David Morrell looked like he was, at times in danger of Hot Rod doing something special. Man, Hot Rod did not look like trash. He definitely looked worthy to be in there and a true light heavyweight in Hot Rod, man.
Here's the issue. David, especially his first fight at light heavyweight, I'll give him a pass on it and everything. And I see problems with it. And because people are trying to give Benavidez a pass. But the thing about it is, Benavidez gassed out of 4 rounds.
Yeah.
And the dude fucking got back in the fight. And then they probably, he dominated. What the fuck kind of fight were you dumb motherfuckers watching? Guys are blind as shit. And seriously, this is what I don't get. These motherfuckers that work for higher fucking shows are the blindest motherfuckers I possibly could see. Oh, but David dominated the fight. He dominated the fight. How the fuck do you dominate a fight when you gassed out after 4 fucking rounds? Seriously, how the fuck do you dominate a fight where you fucking didn't get no fucking punches on? How the fuck do you dominate a fight where the motherfucker countered you in about 5 or 6 rounds of a fight? How the fuck do you dominate a fight where you fucking can't get a steady fucking attack going in the last 5 or 6 rounds of a fucking fight? Come on now. These motherfuckers gotta get their lives together and do fucking better for themselves and stop being dick riders and fucking call the fucking sport the way it's supposed to be fucking seen. Fucking seriously, this is another reason why this sport's in a downward spiral. Because we got more dick riders than more fucking idiots trying to fucking cover the sport and show people what they seen from a fucking real point of fucking view. And it fucking sickens me to my fucking stomach because they take a fucking payoff to be a dick rider than to do their fucking actual job.
Exactly. Hey, I appreciate that, Drew. We're going through with the score that we give people, maybe the grade. Drew's all interested. Hello. Shout out to Mexi Candy. Thanks for joining the show. Drew.
Jesus Christ. What the fuck is up with these fucking people with these Twitter accounts?
It's the vertical, Drew. All right, man. Andy Cruz, last but not least, Andy Cruz in his 4th professional fight against a Mexican, Antonio Moran, who is a rugged road warrior, and Antonio Moran, someone who's been in there with some pretty decent names, over almost 30 career fights. And I actually walked out on this fight in the 6th round, and I thought, okay, Andy Cruz is definitely a level or two above this guy, but Antonio Moran was really trying to land some big shots, and I thought, hey, anything could happen. But what I didn't anticipate happen was walking away from the fight and Andy Cruz stopping him in the 7th round. I have to give Andy Cruz like a really good high B on this one because, man, in his 4th pro fight, beating somebody very rugged, but knocking them out and getting the stoppage. And no whispers from people like Keyshawn Davis. Ain't nobody talking about Andy Cruz. He only got 4 fights. Ain't nobody talking about him.
Let's just say something. Keyshawn talks a lot of shit, and he's not that fucking good.
Go ahead.
Andy Cruz beats him now.
A gold medalist 2-time. Not only was no word out of Keyshawn Davis, no word out of Shakur Stevenson sitting ringside.
Shakur Stevenson
and
too.
You know what I'm saying? Shakur Stevenson, the silver medalist? Was he a silver medalist? I can't remember. Definitely not gold medalist. You don't see Shakur Stevenson saying anything about Andy Cruz wanting that smoke.
Here's the thing. He beats them both.
Yeah, so I thought it was a rather impressive performance by Andy Cruz. And that's pretty much the entirety of the main event card. Drew, I want to get on to the fights of the weekend. There's a ESPN card. And El Venado Lopez, my favorite, featherweight titleist from Top Rank, is going to be fighting Las Vegas's Angelo Leo. Angelo Leo was dropped from, was it Top Rank or was it PBC? This guy, Angelo Leo, was dropped promoterless, former 122-pound champion. I believe he lost his title to Philadelphia's Stephen Fulton. He moved up to 126, and after just 2 fights, remember, Ruben Villas got signed by Top Rank for like a 3-fight deal. Ruben Villas just lost at the Palms, man. This guy was supposed to get a title opportunity against potentially El Venado Lopez, someone he beat on Showbox. Big step back for Ruben Villa. Angelo Leo coming off just a pro box fight. He fought on pro box. He gets the nod for the 126, and that's going down this weekend on ESPN Plus. While I'll be at the Mandalay Bay watching the Virgil Ortiz fight, it's going to be a very good fight. Angelo Leo, no bum. I would say he's deserving. Anybody who's a former titleist, but man, I think he got that fight maybe a little premature. What do you see happening in this fight? I'm trying to look for the picture of that this weekend. What do you see happening this weekend? El Venado Lopez knocks him out, stops him, or Angelo Leo, the former 122 bantamweight champion, does well? Super bantamweight.
I think it's going to go to decision. Lopez
on the decision. The guy that beat Ruben Villa, the African fighter, I just saw that he's getting a big fight on Top Rank right away. He's fighting Zusu Carrington, who they think is going to be the next big deal at featherweight for Top Rank. He just beat Ruben Villa, and he's coming back like in weeks to fight Shushu Carrington, however you pronounce his name, Shushu Carrington, at 126, man. That guy, here's the deal. You guys remember El Venado Lopez was not signed to Top Rank. Okay, he was a promoterless fighter brought on to fight Andy Vences, El Tiburon from San Jose. He had the contract with Top Rank. El Venado Lopez upset him, beat him, shocked everyone at Top Rank. Top Rank's like, damn, didn't see this coming. Didn't think you'd beat our house fighter. In the very next fight opportunity, they're like, we got another guy for you to fight. Can you beat Gabe Flores? We don't think so. They threw in El Venado Lopez against Gabe Flores of Stockton. He was supposed to be the next big thing at 130. El Venado Lopez practically murders Gabe Lopez in the ring. His daddy should have thrown in the towel. And El Venado Lopez from there on He goes on a world tour knocking everybody out at 126 to become this big star. Could this guy, that be Ruben Villa, become the next Alvarado Lopez? I don't know. Probably not from what I saw. But this is the sport of boxing, and anything is possible, including at my favorite division, featherweight. One of my favorite divisions, featherweight. I got Alvarado Lopez winning this weekend. Back to the main event, and we'll wrap up this show, Drew, and we'll have our last words here. Virgil Ortiz versus Bohacek. A banger. Guaranteed fireworks. Some people are saying this got potential to be fight of the year. But Bohacek has been stopped by Brandon Adams, a guy who's fighting on, what's that, OTX, overtime on DAZN. There's a 154-pound tournament. You don't hear Brandon Adams in the mix, in the discussion, even though he's got a big win over Bohacek. You don't hear about Brandon Adams as an elite 154-pounder. Some people won't even have him ranked in the top 10. But he stopped Bohacek. And keeping that in mind, man, is Virgil Ortiz going to break down Bohacek?
I got Bohacek by knockout.
Man, that's it. Guys, this is a 50-50 fight. If anything, I would say it's a 60-40 fight. I'm going to have to say that Virgil Ortiz is probably going to fight and be in the most serious fight of his career. I can't see anybody in his resume at 147 other than he beat with that Gene, the Mean Machine. Probably that was the hardest hitting opponent he's fought.
Yeah, but that dude was a shell of his former self, was a huge shell of his former self. I think the best guy he beat was Michael McKingston.
Yeah, and none of those guys are as fresh as Bohacek in the prime of their careers. Obviously, Bohacek has a Mexican-American trainer in his corner. It's going to be very exciting against against Robert Garcia, the best in the West, man. This fight is guaranteed fireworks. And you know how you was saying, Drew, this fight past weekend, man, you was up until midnight? Well, I got an email from Golden Boy for all ticket holders. The fight's been moved up 2 hours. So interesting enough, I think they heard the criticism from the fight fans that, man, you started this pay-per-view way too late and the main event started way too late. And it's not favorable to people that live on the East Coast. So, Drew, from 4 o'clock start time to 2 p.m. So I fully anticipate probably we're going to get Virgil Ortiz main event somewhere earlier, maybe 7 p.m. West Coast time. Could be as early as 7 p.m., which would be 10 o'clock on the East Coast. But listen, man, you're doing the sport of boxing and fans no favor when you isolate East Coast fans and start the main event at midnight, 12:30 a.m. You ain't doing anybody any favors. Hey, thank you so much for anybody that just hit that like button. We're up to 33 likes. It's been a great show. Good to have my co-host, Drew Evil, back. It's time for final words. Drew, your final thoughts, Riyadh season, the war of words between Canelo Alvarez and the great savior of the sport. Virgil Ortiz, big weekend. What's on your mind?
You know what? I think people need to look at it as, and like, when you want the sport of boxing to be better, you're fighting a losing battle. And like, seriously, people are gonna do shit for the money. They're gonna do shit for the views, for the money and everything. And like, they don't want to fucking do it just for knowledge and everything. Oh, because this person's saying what I like to hear, I'm gonna fucking go watch his fucking channel and everything. Because I'm a dumb motherfucker. I'm gonna give my money to that motherfucker. It's really how bad boxing is. It's worse when it comes to box. It's worse sport than any other sport when you're rooting for your favorite team. When you're a diehard, let's say a diehard Eagles fan, or a diehard Giants fan, or a diehard Niners fan. We're still about to lose Brandon Ayuk, and Dave's a little bit bummed out about it and everything bad. But it's like, it's worse than that level because they try to make so much like bullshit and everything, and like they try to pull so much narratives because it's a moneymaker. And when you got, and I'll say this right now, boxing fans are possibly the dumbest boxing fans in all sports because they fall for a lot of the shit. And I'm sorry, a lot of boxing fans fall for a lot of the bullshit that these fucking channels go for, that these fucking fighters and promoters go for. They fall for it. Hey, come on, because you give your hard-earned money out, knowing that you're probably going to struggle at the end of the fucking week until payday, but you could have just kept it, knowing the motherfucker's lying or is doing some stupid shit for it. But why do I say this? Why do I say this? Because I'm the only motherfucker that will fucking say it. And that will only call out people and everything. Let's look at it like this. Oh, I got offered a fucking position. Here's the thing. If I was to ever get offered something to go into a big time show and be a co-host, I would never do it to go against my views. I'm sorry. If you're asking me to go against my views, it's fuck you, goodbye. I already got a regular job. That's extra money to me. I could fucking potentially make extra money telling the truth. Or being me. And like, I look at it like this. I don't give a fuck if you agree with me or not. I don't give a fuck if you respect my opinion or not. I'm going to keep fucking saying my opinion. If you don't like it, go fuck yourself at the end of the fucking day. Because I have to go listen to other people's bullshit fucking opinions. Over half of them are low IQ motherfuckers. Half of them are fucking blind as shit when it comes to watching a fight. It's like fucking Stevie Wonder or Ray Charles fucking judging a fucking fight. Like, goddamn. And then I listen to bad fucking takes constantly on chat. Let me just be honest with everybody here. I don't watch a lot of fucking other boxing content. I possibly watch one or two other shows, and that's it. Because all these other people say a lot of bullshit. They do it just for money. They do it just for views. They rob how fuck they rob. They know because they have stupid fucking people giving them money. I just don't enjoy watching other people's boxing content. And am I wrong for saying it? No, the fuck I'm not wrong for saying it, because I have a right as a viewer, as somebody that has an opinion to fucking say that shit.
Well, you know, Drew, it's interesting enough. I wonder how many content creators actually that we watch or support or are in our circle of YouTube familia that actually watch our replays. So I always appreciate when I do get another content creator tuning in or dropping a comment. Don't forget to drop a comment, guys. Drew Evo and I are just 10 subscribers away from the milestone, our milestone of 1,000 subscribers. If you have not subscribed, if you're a new viewer, hit that subscription button. It don't cost a thing. Also, if you have someone that's interested in boxing or football, because we got some big news on that, make sure they subscribe. Drew, preseason is upon us.
But you know what, Dave?
Preseason is upon us. You know what that means?
Those people, mostly, a lot of them are mostly just cool with Dave and not cool with me, because I got beef with some. But the thing about it is, people can go say and wish, hey, I wish Drew would not be on the shoe shine anymore. But here's the thing, I'm here to stay, and I don't give a fuck what you motherfuckers say, and you're going to enjoy it, and you're going to fucking love it. But I also look at it as in, like, it really, people have, like, really need to realize shit that me and Dave have been together for 5 fucking years doing this shit.
Yeah, a lot of you guys don't know, we started on Periscope, which was basically just, we were streaming on Twitter back in the day. One of the the biggest people doing the boxing. YouTube is new to us, but we're
And now
coming up on two plus years.
we outlasted fucking motherfuckers that been together possibly 7 years. And then looking back, they probably most of them hate each other now. They throw sneak kisses on fucking Twitter with each other. They come up with fucking bullshit, fucking weird fucking gimmicks and wishing they were that person. You probably watched the intro next day at the pool, you'd be like this, jump. Like, at the end of the fucking day, man, I'm going to look at it like this. I talk to Dave at least every other day about shit. And, like, I look at other people's, like, partnership. I don't think it's like me and Dave's partnership. I don't think they talk to each other every other day like me and Dave do. And it's not even about fucking boxing and everything. We can go, they can go tolerate each other. To me, if I can't be with someone that I'm going to tolerate. I got to have some type of friendship with that person and everything. And like 5 years, we doing it. We went from Periscope to fucking YouTube. Went on that Twitch show, fucking got cheated out because the dumb fuck want to say, oh, this is a fucking business and we need a woman to win. Yeah, you proved the show was rigged, you stupid fuck. And it probably went to your boxing career too, by the way. We did more than possibly half those fucking shows did already. And we're under 1,000 fucking subs. What's that fucking tell you? It tells you you can have all the subs in the world, but it's still, some people ain't gonna give a fuck about you if you don't do the right moves and we make the right fucking moves. And like I look at it, I'm really fucking, I get on the phone, I tell Dave, hey, I got an idea. Or Dave tells me he's got an idea. Oh, this is what we gotta fucking do. And what happened? We planned it. We planned around it. We brainstormed. We blew a fucking rebel by the blackboard and fucking say what the fuck we're gonna do. Like, I look at it at the end of the fucking day. If you can't really respect who you work with, yeah, maybe it's right that you guys break up and everything, and everything. But here's the thing. I am who I am in real life, on here, off here. I'm one of the nicest motherfuckers you can meet. I'm one of the easiest motherfuckers you can get along with. I'm one of the nicest too. If you meet me, have a conversation with me, I'm a really nice person. The shit I act like, the way I am on here, is a lot of you motherfuckers with your bad fucking takes, and I gotta fucking. This is why I air my grievances out. It's like a therapy fucking session. I lay on a fucking one of those fucking couches. They can be the fucking shrink and everything, and this is where I air my fucking grievances. And Dave, I can switch roles, and Dave can air his fucking grievances, and Dave can say one of his rarely cursed F-bombs on here. It's every fucking week we come on here, and like, here's the thing. We both work. We both work a 9 to 5. I work OT every fucking day. I come on here at 10:30 at night, Eastern time, air my fucking grievances, and I treat this sometimes as a fucking management thing. To air my grievances at some of you dumb motherfuckers out there. Because a lot of times, and I'm sorry, and I really am sorry for going on a long fucking rant, but here's the fucking thing. I had a really bad fucking week. And sometimes I come on here not in the best of moods. I still come on here and everything. It could be like something at work that makes me mad, like something I went through fire with the fucking internet and everything. I still come the fuck on here and try to give the best fucking me I can on here for a fucking hour at least. And the thing about it is, here's the thing: we're 11 fucking subs away from 1,000 fucking subs, and we should have been at 1,000 a long time ago. We should have been monetized.
Shame on that person who unsubscribed today, this morning. Another setback.
I'm sorry for bringing this up too. We should have been making fucking money doing this shit because we're the realest fucking people that fucking do this shit, and it's a shame. And because tell you the truth right now, I'd rather be real and make no fucking money than be fake than make money off this fucking YouTube shit. Because I tell you this right now, it doesn't do shit to be fake and make money and kiss people's asses. Because I'm sorry, I'm not no fucking ass kisser. I'm not no fucking dick rider. I fucking get on people we interview also if they make the bad fucking move. I'm not like other motherfuckers that are fucking going to bat for them. If they do something wrong, they did something fucking wrong. And everything. But I look at it like this. It's been a long time since I had Crown Royal, Wally. All right?
You know what? That sounds good. I'm a big fan of rye whiskey.
$14 a shot at a bar.
Really?
I
gotta try some of that.
Shot. But
shout out to Canadian whiskey. I gotta try that.
I really think that when I say this sport's on the decline, I fucking mean it. I fucking give my points out why it's on a decline, and it's never gonna come out of it. And tell you the goddamn truth, it's fucking real. If you don't see it by now, I don't know what to fucking tell you. You in there playing the God, you have a little confessions like, please God, please let boxing rain again. It's never gonna rain again. You wanna know why? Because you got selfish motherfuckers in there that wanna fucking believe, they wanna price themselves out of shit, and they wanna fucking don't give a fuck about it because the people that pay you are going to be out of business eventually for paying you that extra money. And the question is, I got to ask people like Canelo Alvarez, Tank Davis, what the fuck are you going to do when those people are gone? Because tell you the truth, the man you don't like the way he does business with, Canelo, that's the man you got to go with eventually. That's the man that's gonna go and make money. You're gonna have to make money off of soon. And what are you gonna? It's either that, or you fucking retire, or you fucking go make a fucking whiskey drink like Conor McGregor and make some fucking money off that, or tequila. For all I fucking care, because he made whiskey because he's Irish. You make tequila. You're Mexican. You make the tequila and everything. You got a big market you gotta go against because you got 1,800 Jose Cuervo was cheap shit and everything. I'd rather not drink that. Patron, you know, the light, the yellow shit, the clear shit. I like the clear shit better when it's cold and everything. But I want people to realize this. When the shit that we put on here week after week, and we talk about it, and we try to break it down as easy as possible, can't break it down no other way. If you can't see it that way, I'll tell you what. If I ask your favorite content creator, he's probably a kiss ass, by the way, to break it down for you, I'll give him a note and say, yo, you want to get some views? Break it down like this. You'll get some fucking views like that. But I know Dave wants to go to bed or wants to do a little exercising before he goes because it's
straight up. I'll do my last minute run.
And it's fucking 12 o'clock and 12:01 at night over here. I gotta wake up at 6:30 in the morning to go to work. And you know what? Let's be honest. I average 4 hours of sleep a night.
Damn, Drew.
Lucky. If I'm fucking lucky, I average 4 hours of sleep a night. I really been doing that since 2015. I said I'm 38 now and everything. And like I average 4 hours of sleep a night. But let's look at it like this. There's always somebody that are working 2 full-time jobs. I know a couple of people that do that can barely get any sleep. And they're in their 50s and everything. So I look at it like this and everything. I ask people, respect what people go through to get what you want. Because some people have it real fucking easy and they're getting views, they're getting fucking people buying them fucking studios and everything. And I'm fucking done. I don't know what else to say.
Well, guys, I wanted to mention I will be on the roundtable tomorrow. It's either going to be on Joe Habib's Ringside Reporter on YouTube or on D Styles Boxing tomorrow. I'll be on a panelist tomorrow at 4 p.m. I'll drop it in the community page if you want to check it out. Some of the best takes in boxing, in my opinion, some of the worst takes at times, but that's why we watch it. It's the roundtable tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And Joe, I usually don't want to do a final rant, but you know what? I want to give a shout out to... Dave. I want to give a shout out to Christine Lopez, Olympic boxing coach. Olympic boxing is coming to an end. I know a lot of people had feelings about, man, I'm boycotting this shit. Rightfully so. You had that the choice to do that. But because it's medal, it's coming up on boxing medals. I wanted to do a quick follow-up really, really quickly, Drew, because I ranted for over an hour on this. But it looks like the Algerian fighter, Iman Khalif, not only her, she's going to medal. But so is Lin, the Taiwanese fighter that were, involved in the scandal. And the scandal, Drew, that you didn't get to participate in is essentially they were banned by the IBA in 2023 from the World Championship Games. The IBA no longer has anything to do with the Olympics. The IOC says you guys are done. You're out of it. Which means we're not even going to trip off of what you guys say you did, which was a genetic test, a DNA test. Well, they did a press conference this week because of all the controversy, and they came out and were like, yo, we did the DNA genetic chromosome test. They're XY positive, right? So again, everybody wants to say XY. It just means you're a boy, you're a man. So I had to do so much homework, Drew, and it turned out I ended up watching TED Talks. You know, TED Talk, that shit that people do speeches on TED Talks. Man, there was at least 3 women that identify as women that were born looking like girls, full vaginas and all. And it turned out they had testicles, Drew. Yeah, it's called being intersex, right? So what we had were 2 intersex boxers. Basically, they look like little girls. Parents said they're girls. The doctor said they're girls. The birth certificate said they're girls. The passport, the driver's license, they're girls. Turns out they got testicles. And turns out this shit is common as fuck. It's so common that they have TED Talks on YouTube. I even saw a girl talk about everything she had to do when they told her, hey, we got to take out these testicles inside of you, because if we don't take out the testicles, you're going to get cancer. That is the only way that these 2 boxers, and again, they identify as women. They were raised as girls. Puberty happened, right? They got testicles up inside them. They went through male puberty. Well, the position of the IBA, Drew, is that nobody that goes through male puberty should be fighting women that are XX. And they even wrote a great article. Another sports organization in swimming said that it's discrimination, but it's discrimination that's necessary, because above all, the health of a fighter is the most important thing at all. And if you've got that advantage that you went through male puberty, you hit about 125% harder than a regular woman. It's it's unfair, but it's a necessary discrimination. And that's what the IBA took upon themselves. Bro, the IOC, the Olympics, to just say we don't give a shit about that. We don't give a shit about the science. We don't give a shit about the facts. That's some bullshit, man. They're going to get hurt, Drew. Eventually, some of these athletes that compete against them will get hurt. They're not going to be anywhere nearly as strong. Is it discrimination? Probably, but it's like they said, it's necessary discrimination to keep the integrity of any women's sport, whether it's racing, track and field, swimming, it's just the right thing to do, man. And I stand by that. I did the show on it. I have sympathy for people that are intersex. But again, it turns out that lady, Amain Khalif, she says, I don't even consider myself intersex. Well, how do you not consider yourself intersex if you had testicles? And in some cases, Drew, this is crazy. You'll find it on YouTube. There was people like them raised as girls, and then they backlash on their parents and were like, I never wanted to be a girl. The fuck you talking about? Take out my testicles. I want to be a guy. I don't have a penis, but I want to be a guy. So give me more testosterone, and now I'm going to change my gender to being a guy. There's plenty of that on YouTube. There's people that decided, I don't know why you told me to be a girl. I want to be a guy. It's way complicated. But the Olympics, they need to take a stand in the future and come to a rightful decision based on morals, man. And the morality of it is, it's just not fair, man. Don't put up a girl that's born XX to fight them against someone that's XY technically. Went through male puberty, man. Someone's gonna get hurt. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what? You know what the mistake was? Why the fuck didn't the fighters boycott it? They said, we're not, anybody that was matchups and refused to fight.
Because they were bullied. In my opinion, like, shout out to Christine Lopez. She was backstage. She said in an article, saying that they applauded Amain after her win because it sounds like they were bullied. They were bullied into, they weren't given the proper facts, and they're bullied into like not being misogynist or anti-trans community or anti-anything. Like the fact of it is, like, these sporting organizations said, including the IBA, it's just immoral. It is discrimination. But again, to protect the sanctity of the sport, to protect female athletes, we just cannot have intersex people competing against biologically XX females. I'm gonna stand by that. I wish everybody the best of luck, but when it comes to this sport and Olympics and amateur sports, they're going to have to come to some intelligent understanding of what it's like for everybody involved.
I thought the World Championship is like a qualifier.
Eddie Meddy says, I was researching XY, and next thing I owned it up on Trans Pornhub. All right, guys. Hey, I'm Dave in the 702 Philly Irish, Drew Evo. Preseason football is just what? Is it this weekend? We got 49ers in action. We got preseason. So if we could squeeze it in next week, we're going to start the second season of Tailgate Talk next week and look at what some of our favorite teams are doing. And if we get that 1,000 subscribers, which I hope, and my camera went out of focus, we will go back to horizontal next week with the phone call-in line. Until then, everybody have a blessed weekend. I'm David the 702. Drew, peace out.